that he's going to come in with the cape and save the day, and that's not fair. I mean, if he can, that's great. But at the same time, I mean, look, it's going to be what it's going to be. He's going to get his opportunity. This is going to answer itself. Either Brian Hoyer steps up and this team steps up and wins, or they step back. And absolutely, I would say Russell Wilson. Matter of fact, you and I have talked about that before. That's the one name that I threw out at you. I see Charles in the chat room. But to me, Russell Wilson is a quarterback who has the ability to use his legs. He's not a running quarterback person.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is not a scrambling quarterback. He sits in the pocket and throws the ball. He runs,
but he can run.
Johnny Manziel doesn't do that. Johnny Manziel scrambles and then throws the ball. There's a big difference.
Maybe he will.
Johnny Manziel is not Russell Wilson.
Maybe he will as well. That's part of where I get with, just like everybody else. I want to see what he can do. But again, when you get to that point, you'll see it. But just like, I mean, people think back. It's easy now in hindsight, but I was telling people the same thing when the whole RG3 talk was going on and who was going to trade up and get him. And look what happened. He sets the world on fire for a few weeks, and then boom, down goes Frazier, and he's never been the same again. And I'm just saying that part of that comes with the chaos. The end of a season is chaotic when you got second and third stringers on the line and then on your blocking positions like tight end, and you've lost Miles Austin. Say what you want about his performance, whether he's had a big season or not, but he's been clutch, and he's a veteran. And he's another veteran voice. So you've now added Josh Gordon to the wide receiver core and the ups and downs that come with that. But you've lost a veteran guy there to help lead a young wide receiver core. Another reason why, I mean, I don't know. To me, this conversation, again, it answers itself in the next couple of weeks. The team either sucks it up and makes a run, or they don't. And then you see the young guys everywhere, not just at quarterback. You'll see guys at other positions getting opportunities.
Yeah, you'll see them resting the veterans. And the thing that makes me mad is, I'm starting to not feel bad for the city I'm from anymore because we're doing this to ourselves. We're in the playoff contention right now. We can win this damn division easily. We can win it. And yet we're sitting here talking about a quarterback controversy and putting distractions on this team when we can win a damn division. We can go to the playoffs right now, but yet we're talking like it's the end of the season. I don't get this city, man. I don't get it.
Couple of weeks ago, Andy Dalton had statistically like the worst game in, I don't know if it was NFL history, but it was definitely in Bengals history. And look at the Bengals now, 3 weeks later. It's funny, first 2 weeks of the season, and I'm not making comparisons. Tom Brady's won Super Bowls. He's allowed to have a bad couple of weeks, but they were trying to put him out to pasture for Jimmy Garoppolo in the first couple of weeks of the season, if you remember. So how silly that is. Look, the future will come for the Browns. What it is, how it shows itself, it will answer itself. But to me, this is the decision I would have made, as you guys know, and that's it, man. You'll go out there and you'll sink or swim, man. You'll sink or swim. It's just funny, the difference of opinions of. Really, there's three faces of it. There's the guys that just say, if you want to win, you play Hoyer. If you want to get ready for next year, you play Manziel. But then there's a third part that says Manziel can win now. And I get it, but I think that's just totally and that's where I think, imagine if he was to start this week where the Browns are still in it. People are going to expect them to win. Do you really think at 7-5 this weekend, people are going to show up and just be happy to see Johnny play if the Browns get blown out 42-20, but Johnny runs around and looks good? No, they won't, because they think the switch was made because you're trying to win games. And that's what the Browns are supposed to be trying to do. And I find it funny, like I just told Vic, that the same fan base that'll criticize one of the other teams for worrying about next year and trading for draft picks and playing all the AAA guys from the Indians or whatever, tanking for Teddy or all the different things that we've heard people say over the years. And now we're talking about the future. But Bruce has a great point in the chat room. How long? And I'll tell you what, I will be amazed to see. Now, I give Browns fans credit. I don't think it'll be immediate, but you do now have the short hook as far as the fans go, and Hoyer's going to have to suck it up. And you want to earn big boy money? This is where you're going to earn big boy money, because you're going to have to deal with the fact that fan base will quickly turn on you if you have a slow start. They're going to be looking to the bench and wondering, is Johnny coming in? Now, I do say this. I think there will be some more Johnny packages in this week, and I wouldn't be afraid to say, I think you may see him come in more than you've seen him at other times during this season. But it'll be interesting to see that, because that is the one risk of this. But you know what, Larry? Great point. Hoyer's already been booed at home before while they were winning games, so it won't be any different. And if he wants to be the Browns quarterback or somebody's quarterback next year, he's going to have to go out here and deal with it. So go put on your big boy pants and put on your helmet and go win a football game. That's all I can say.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, real quick, Jarek, I just got an alert that popped through. Nothing too serious, but Chris Sims just reported that one of the reasons on the Common Thoughts in Cleveland organization is that Johnny Manziel is not mentally ready to be a starter yet. That's one of the main reasons why they didn't pull the trigger.
Absolutely. I think that's part of it. There's obviously a reason, and people can't wrap their head around that. They think, the Browns are just refusing to play this kid. The Browns are tripping over themselves all season long to find a reason to play Johnny Manziel. Trust me, they want to see the kid play from the top on down in that front office. That's what should really worry the Manziel fans, is the fact that with all the people that want it to happen, the fact that it still hasn't happened, that's what worries me the most.
Yeah, exactly.
What is going on behind the scenes that we don't know? And maybe it's nothing. Maybe he'll go out there and it'll be like Aladdin rubbing, the genie comes out of the lamp and there you go. But I'm just saying, there's clearly reasons that the Browns are hesitant to pull the trigger on the rookie quarterback. My man, I got to go. Thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good day, Jerry. Have a good day, listeners.
You got it. All right, man. You guys' phones are still ringing. I got to go. I haven't even gotten into the first break of the day yet. Sit tight, you guys. I promise we're going to keep taking phone calls here. Let me get the first break out of the way here. I'll get Mike Brandenberry here coming up on the phone lines on the other side of this from didthetribewinlastnight.com. We'll get his thoughts on this. As we continue to evolve, we're going to talk a little bit of Indians baseball. We're going to keep this conversation going as well. You know what? One more phone call. I'll take one more call here before we go to the break. Caller, last call before we go to the break.
Daddy.
Oh, that's LG. I don't even got to ask you that is. LG, what's happening, my man?
Daddy, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. How you doing, brother?
I just get a big kick out of all these people that think they know what's going on here in the city of Cleveland. First of all, I'm so glad that last caller said that the Cleveland Browns came out and said Manziel is not mentally ready to start a football game yet. Here we are in Week 13, J-Rock Daddy, and Johnny Manziel can't even call the right play in a Cleveland Browns huddle yet. Are you aware of that? Are your callers and your listeners aware that he uses the wrong terms in the huddle and the other players have to get in correction mode and tell Johnny Manziel what's supposed to be going on? I mean, here we are, Week 13. Manziel still can't even use the right terms to call a play in a Cleveland Browns football game. And I'll tell you, you know as well as I do, we can't afford to go out there and take a bunch of delay-of-game penalties.
Let me tell you guys, for those of you that don't know, LG is dead on. Like, that is something that has been talked about as well, that he still is learning the actual play calls. Now, part of that is Shanahan's crazy long play calls. We talked about that in the beginning in preseason. We talked about those big old play calls, and I knew that they would have to cut some of the offense down. And that's the other thing, too, is people talk about the limitations and, Johnny opens up so much more. He opens up a little bit with his legs until the other team plans for the bootleg. But even giving you the legs, they have to cut the playbook in literally a fourth to limit it to what he can run, and he still miscalls some of the play. That's not Johnny's fault. He played in a college offense that did not have any type of an intricate playbook whatsoever, and I don't even want to go and bash Manziel for that. That's not his fault. It was see ball, throw ball, catch ball. That was what they did, and it worked very well for him in college. But this has been a new animal. Why do you think he didn't win the job right off the bat? It was not just because he runs around and people don't like him. It has nothing to do with that. It's a very real reasons that, and I'm sure after the season, some of this stuff will come out and people will go, oh, you know what? Maybe he really wasn't ready. Because I'm telling you, this is a team falling over itself to put him in the game if they can. So, but you guys got to understand that. Think about that. For those of you that say he gives you the better chance to win, that's the part that's not true. Because if he can't get the play call right, if he can't get all of those things right, then he doesn't give you the best chance to win. But he does give you perhaps the best chance to have a more exciting offensive performance. But that's different. That's getting ready for the future. LG, I got to keep it moving, my man, but thank you very much for the call.
Let me make one last point,
yeah,
J-Rock,
before you got it.
Before you go. In order for the Browns to be successful this coming Sunday, they're going to have to limit the reps that they try to put in Josh Gordon's way. Whether people understand this or not, Josh Gordon is a big reason why Hoyer's performance has suffered over the last couple of games. Now, I know one game we can't really, but listen, they've kind of forced the ball to a guy that, A, isn't fighting for the football, and B, doesn't even have his football legs on yet. Now, no matter how great of a receiver and how great of an athlete you are, there's a lot bigger difference in actually running the race and just doing wind sprints to get ready for the race. You know as well as I do, J-Rock, to be NFL game day ready, you're not going to get there in just about 2 weeks' time, man. Hey, if you got time at the end of the show, I'll be glad to call you back. Keep me posted, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for the call, LG, my man, from Cleveland Sports 360. We will keep this rolling as we go. Let's hit the break. When we come back, Mike Brandenburry joins us. We'll get his thoughts, and just got the official statement. Some of you guys, actually, I got this a while ago, but I just get the chance to read it to you from the Browns. The official statement of Mike Pettine as we head to the break. After thorough evaluation, talking to the staff, we simply feel Brian gives us the best opportunity to win on Sunday. This is a football decision, and those are always going to be based on what we think is best for our team. Brian has helped lead our team to a 7-5 record. I'm confident that we can get the entire offense playing at the level we need to accomplish the goals we set at the beginning of the season. Those goals are still very much attainable. So I'm just saying that is kind of a sum up of what we've just spent the first 40 minutes of this show talking about right there. And that's my thoughts on that. And apparently Coach Pettine's as well. We got a lot of various opinions from you guys too. Dozens and dozens of comments on Facebook flying as we go. I'll read some of those when we come back. Mike Brandenburry from DidTheTribeWinLastNight.com joins us. We'll get his thoughts on this. We were texting a little bit earlier. It's just an interesting sociological argument can be had, discussions can be had about Hoyer versus Manziel from all different angles. We'll talk some Indians as well, some 90s tribe. Tomorrow, Tom Hamilton, voice of the Indians, joins us. We'll talk about that coming up here. Don't go anywhere. Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan coming up in hour 2, talking Browns and Buckeyes as we get ready for the Big Ten championship game and so much more. Don't go anywhere. Believe it or not, 45 minutes later, we've only just begun this edition of the Sports Fix, baby.
The Sports Fix, the show that asks the question,
what you talking about, Lou? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou?
We'll be right back.
Sports Fix listeners, you've heard me talking about it. Millionaires being made all season long at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. I've been playing there too. It's now J-Rock's favorite one-week fantasy football site. What's one-week fantasy football? That means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Have a player who's hurt? That's no problem at all because you change everything week to week. Injuries don't derail your chance at victory. It's a new season every week. You're never stuck with the same players. You can pick your team in just minutes and be on your way to winning huge cash. This season, one listener turned $10 into $5,000. Another turned $2 into $10,000. And a new millionaire has been crowned nearly every week this season at DraftKings.com. You could be next. Imagine winning $1 million in one day. $1 million just for playing fantasy football at DraftKings.com. Head to DraftKings.com now and use promo code Spreaker to play for free in the $10 million Fantasy Football World Championships. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winning.